Workers had their own victory chant as the airline sent them home early today, fearing the mechanics might sabotage equipment. Eastern and other pilots vowed to walk off the job if the two sides don't come to an agreement. Robert McFarland, once President Reagan's national security chief, was fined $20,000 and sentenced today to perform 200 hours of community service for lying to Congress about the Iran-Contra affair. And just off the white sand beaches of Oahu, Hawaii, crews are trying to stop oil leaking from a supertanker. 100,000 gallons of fuel oil is already spilled, creating an oily 2-mile stretch on one of the island's most popular beaches.
And we go from sandy beaches to snowy road. Quite a switch.
Oh my gosh. I'd like to think that when you get a snowstorm like this in the beginning of March, that's it. Well, looking back through the records, in 1985, there was a big snowstorm on the first weekend in March, then everything melted, and then the last weekend in March brought in another big snowstorm. Well, look at any handbook in the state of Minnesota shows you that this shouldn't come as any surprise. March is indeed the snowiest month. Anyone who has been around here long enough knows that. But why is it March? Why can't it be any other winter month when you really get the dumping? Well, March has more water in the air than the colder, drier January and February. It also has the biggest contrast in air masses, the warm tropical air returning from the south, but still that bitter cold from the north. Plus, those upper winds are still super strong, allowing all of that to mix up into one giant snowmaker. Speaking of snow, Doppler 11 radar has been real busy tonight. We said at the top of the newscast we've got one band of snow, which is from Redwood Falls to up to St. Cloud now, right across the northern reaches of the Twin Cities, then back north towards Eau Claire. That's one, and then there's a little break in the action. Then there's another band of snow, and a third one behind that, and there's just wave after wave of snow coming up out of Iowa. And you can see a little bit of green in here, or a little bit of brightness in your black and white picture. That's some sleet mixed in with it as some warmer air tries to muscle its way into all of this. But rest assured, there's still lots more to snow to go, and we're probably looking at an additional 3 to 5 inches of snow before this thing finally tapers to flurries and ends sometime early tomorrow morning. Snow so far has been generally 7 to 9 inches across southern Minnesota and western Wisconsin, with a little more than that down near the Iowa border. And as I said at the top of the newscast, by the time it's all over, we'll have over a foot. Well, let's check our statistics for today before we go to the old weather map here. Our high today has been 14, the low was 5. Hey, that's PD's backyard. Oh boy, am I glad I'm in here. Snowfall out at the airport, 9 inches so far. Right now, snow and 13. Wind is northeast at 21, makes it 21 below outside. Humidity is 88%, and pressure's falling at 29.88 inches. Here's our satellite sequence for tonight, and here's the storm system, which is controlling the weather all through the middle part of the country. Heavy snow today from the Rockies through Denver, and of course all the way up into the upper Midwest. And the latest view from space still shows a swirl of clouds, but here's that little slot of dry air, what we call a dry tongue, and that's going to help cut our snow off later tonight and tomorrow morning. But right now on the map, we still have a big storm, a double-barreled one. A lot of energy is hanging back to the southwest, and this one will stay well to our south, but one of them branched off and hooked onto the north, and that's the one which is drawing the energy from the old Gulf of Mexico, getting into the colder air, and of course producing that big snow all through the upper Midwest. Look at the difference in temperatures. These are highs in the single digits and the teens to the north, with 60s, 70s, and 80s to our south. A record 86 degrees today in my old hometown of Fort Lauderdale. Boy, I need a vacation. Tomorrow, high pressure is going to drive some drier air behind it as the storm begins to move on to the northeast. We'll stay cloudy tomorrow with a brisk northerly flow. Temperatures still in the middle teens, but the snow is finally going to taper and give us a chance to dig out of this one and get ready for the next one whenever that happens. But it's not in the forecast. We'll give that to you in just a moment.
Planning a trip? When you make your travel arrangements, include Airport Taxi. Airport Taxi takes advance reservations with 24-hour service. Airport Taxi serves the Twin Cities metropolitan area with dependable drivers and fast airport service. With Airport Taxi, you can forget luggage handling, expensive parking, and driving worries. That's why more people and corporate accounts use Airport Taxi than any other transportation company. Airport Taxi, 721-6566.
Town & Country Dodge in Hopkins is the Twin Cities' #1 Chrysler Corporation customer satisfaction dealer. And now Town & Country Dodge wants to be the Twin Cities sales leader. Only at Town & Country Dodge you can buy an '89 Daytona for just $172 a month, or '89 Shadow for just $171 per month, an '89 Dakota for just $151 a month.
Town & Country Dodge of Echo Trucks, they brighten up your day.
Well, we're all all in the wrong climate. Let's check the temperatures late this evening. Single digits to the north and northwest. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Generally teens in 11 country. Warm spot right now is Milwaukee, and they're at 30. Forecast in the cities for tonight, the winter storm warning will continue for an additional 3 to 5 inches of snow possible. Maybe a little mix of sleet and freezing drizzle to boot in there over the next few hours. Lows of 12 to 16. For tomorrow, cloudy and windy, flurries and light snow. Highs of 12 to 16 with a north wind. Check this outlook. Temperatures warm up very quickly. Starting Sunday, it appears right now, with readings going through the 20s into the 30s Tuesday and Wednesday. So what snow we do have right now, and as you saw, there's a lot of it, it's going to pack down very quickly. We're not going to lose it all, but it will pack down.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Up next on News 11, hockey fever in a town that hasn't tasted victory on the ice in years.
And here are some numbers that you can call to check if the road you want to drive on this weekend will be safe.
For the ultimate in sleeping comfort, the ComforRest automatic adjustable bed. Your ComforRest bed adjusts, relieving back and leg muscles while you read, watch TV, or sleep. Now wake up from the best night's sleep enjoyed in years with your new bed from ComforRest adjustable beds. Visit our new showroom, 5005 University Northeast. That's 5005 University Northeast, or call right now at 572-8361.
Where? When? Who? What? Ooh, we've got it covered in the KARE 11 Twin Cities Directory. Available at hundreds of locations, including metro area Tom Thumb stores. Or for an $11 home subscription, call 375-1009.
The thoughts of many Minnesotans are still stuck on the state hockey tournament going on at the St. Paul Civic Center.
Our Prep Sports Extra comes your way in just a few minutes with scores and highlights, but hockey isn't the only excitement high school fans could enjoy tonight. A party is going on next to the Civic Center in the Roy Wilkins Auditorium. It's called Breakaway 3. It's free to kids in grades 9 through 12. All the free pizza and pop you can eat and drink until midnight with no drugs or alcohol involved. A big screen TV shows all the hockey action next door as more than 1,000 students look on and dance to the music. The party is part of Attorney General Skip Humphrey's anti-drug campaign.
I don't know about you, but I'd rather look at Amy. But for a short while here, you're stuck with me, because inside the St. Paul Civic Center right now, the International Falls hockey team is on the ice, hoping to win their way to the state finals. It's been a long time since the Falls was able to bask in the glow of victory. News 11's Christy Arndt reports.
Chilly International Falls is basking in its first round win in the state high school hockey tournament. At Riley Sporting Goods downtown, the victory has brought back memories for the store's owners.
I went for 17 years in a row, and I refereed 7 tournaments in a row.
Buck Riley is considered the father of Falls high school hockey.
Well, I don't want to take credit for starting the high school program, but it was my team intact that became the first Falls high school hockey team. Yes, that's correct.
Buck's son Tom captained the University of Minnesota and the U.S. national teams 30 years ago, but he missed his dream.
I've never played in a tournament, but people that played that I ended up playing with at the university told me it was their greatest accomplishment and biggest thrill of their life. Even those that went on to play pro hockey said there was nothing that compared to playing in the state tournament. Yeah.
You regret not having?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
There are few students left behind at school today. Most here are girls basketball players. A win tonight will put them in the state tournament. They don't remember the glory days of Falls hockey. With 6 state hockey championships in the late 50s to early 70s, the Broncos used to be the high school hockey team. Now the hometown is hoping this year's team can bring back the good old days. In International Falls, Christy Arndt, News 11.
Right now, International Falls is in their match against Bloomington Jefferson with the score 2-0 in favor of the Jefferson Jaguars.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little later, we'll have scores and highlights from today's prep hockey and basketball action in the Extra.
But first, spring training goes from tossing the ball around to hitting the field for the first game action of the year. A complete report from Florida when we come right back. Ooh, look at that.
Car dealers have their used cars detailed to get top dollar for them. Now you can too. Terry Feldman's Car Cleanup will professionally hand wash, buff and polish your car Clean the wheels and tires for only $39.95. For a few dollars more, have the engine steam cleaned, interior shampooed, whatever your domestic or import needs. Terry Feldman's Car Cleanup, 77th and Colfax in Richfield. Call 869-7409.
At the Animal Humane Society, you can buy love.
So you're sitting at home going, it's snow, it's drifting, it's blowing. Sit back for a moment because Tom Wright is going to take your mind on a cruise.
Exactly. Hey, I talked to my friend Joe Castiglione, who does the Boston Red Sox games on radio. He says, hey, Tom, Twins are good. They can do it.
He likes them, huh?
He said they could do it. And Joe...
Do you have anything to say about Wade Boggs and Margot Adams? Or?
He claims he never saw Margot. They must have kept Margot hidden rather well. I said, Joe, you were around the whole time, and Joe's very naive. He doesn't believe things like that happen.
He's not naive, he's perhaps real dumb.
Yeah, and he can't see well. Yeah. That's a fact. Well, we're struggling through this winter storm. As Paul mentioned, the Twins basking in the Florida sun this afternoon with a big win over Boston to open their spring exhibition schedule. And Jeff Passolt has more from Orlando.
Signs of another season, and the long-awaited start of another spring exhibition schedule was underway for the Twins. The wind was blowing out at Tinker Field, and the Twins made the most of it. With the score tied at 1 in the third inning, Boston starter Mike Boddicker delivered, and Kent Herbeck sent it out of sight. A 3-run blast. A Gary Gaetti solo homer made it 5-1 Twins. Herbeck also provided some spectacular defense.
It was kind of funny because today was the first day that we took infield. First day we had any actual live game situation stuff. We didn't get, getting that done so far down here in spring training, and a little different going out there. It's the first time I think that I've been playing that we haven't had that no infield or no game situation stuff, and stepping right out into the fire, and guys played well.
Farmhand catcher Orlando Mercado had a big day at the plate, 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. But it was a rough outing for Boston reliever Lee Smith, who gave up late home runs to minor leaguers Chip Hale and Paul Sorrento as the Twins defeated Boston 11-6. The final once again today, the Twins 11-6 over Boston here in Florida. Tomorrow they'll take on the Houston Astros. And a reminder that we'll have highlights of that one for you right here on News 11 as well. With the Twins in Orlando, Jeff Passolt, News 11 Sports.
In high school hockey tonight, Hudson was knocked out of the Wisconsin State tournament by Beloit Memorial, a final from Madison, 3-0, but nonetheless an outstanding season for Hudson, Wisconsin. The North Stars, they have the night off. They will host the New York Islanders in a matinee game tomorrow at the Met. Face-off is at 1:35 p.m. And tonight in the NHL, Pittsburgh and Washington, third period, Washington up 3-2 when the Caps' Bent Gustafson passes to Minnesotan Dave Christensen, who scores, and Washington led 4-2. Former North Star Donnie Beaupre makes one of his 34 saves on the night. Way to go, Donnie, to keep the game out of reach. Let's check the final. 4-2 Washington. New Jersey over the Rangers, and Edmonton beating Winnipeg by a score of 7-4. Now, you mentioned Margot Adams a little while ago, the Wade Boggs' former girlfriend. She is now saying that the Red Sox call their fans green flies, little flies that land on unsavory substances. It's a nice way to...
Players are calling them?
Players call the Boston fans green flies. And Joe Castiglione said, yes, that is true.
Now, that's not good.
That's not good at all. We'll hear about that.
Sort of a Bryant Gumbel deal going on.
I mean, really?
Everyone's stabbing everyone in the front.
Really?
I tell you, coming up, Tom and Randy Schaefer are ready to bring us another action-packed edition of the Prep Sports Extra.
Don't miss a slap shot or jump shot next.
Whatever we learn in life, we learn from people who know more than we do. They're called teachers. We need about 45 teachers just to get through high school, 62 on average to finish college, 75 to become a lawyer, and more than 100 to get through medical school. Thanks to teachers, we can be whatever we want in life. The fact is, the more you know, the more you owe to the people who taught you.
They're the people you come home to. Friendly faces that always take you in. Reaching out to
the hands that will hold you. It's your family that picks you up again. Family matters. People care.
It's always good to know your family matters.
We're on, yeah.
Blowing snow and drifts didn't stop prep sports action tonight as hockey and basketball teams take a step closer to becoming state champs.
Randy Shaver joins Tom now for our Prep Sports Extra.
Thanks, Amy. Well, the state snowstorm, that's no myth.
It's no myth.
We know that.
Absolutely.
We've been through that several times. We begin our coverage tonight on a snowy night with state hockey.
The championship game has one entrance set, Rochester John Marshall. The other one's being decided as we speak. And Sean Rice has scored a pair of goals in the first period for Jefferson. He had the hat trick last night, and the Jaguars lead International Falls 2-0 in the second. The winner of that game plays JM for the title tomorrow night. In the John Marshall game, it was tied at 1 second period when John Marshall's John Hilkin scored the first goal of the year for him, and it turned out to be the game winner. Third period now, Corey Ratzloff scores for JM to make it 3-1, but wait a minute. The officials check out his stick, and they rule it illegal. The curvature was more than a ½ inch. The goal is disallowed, but JM holds on to win today, 2-1 over Duluth-Denfeld. Tom?
All right, scores out of consolation today. South St. Paul defeating Warroad. Edina in a close win over White Bear Lake. Here's the winning goal by Edina. Mike Henniker, number 14, will get the game winner in the third period. The defending champion will play for the consolation title tomorrow. There's the battle out front. There's the wrist shot, and there is the goal. And, of course, the weather has canceled a lot of regional basketball games tonight, but not the girls' 4AA championship.
Spring Lake Park battled Irondale for the right to go to state. This was a good one. Irondale trailed 41-37 until Jody Vanderluck hit the shot to make it 41-39. Number 44, Jennifer Potter, tries for three. She misses, but it's a perfect pass to Lisa Blackstone, and that tied the game at 41 with 18 seconds to go. In overtime, Heather Ratcliffe hit a pair of pressure-packed free throws for Spring Lake Park, and they are going to state. The final tonight in 4AA, 44-42. In 6AA, St. Louis Park is heading back. They beat Jefferson 53-26. The Jaguars struggled offensively tonight. Sloan Roloff, number 40, led them with 8 points, getting 2 here. But St. Louis Park's Kelly Trolley led all scorers with 15. She hits the bucket, and the Orioles were on their way. Late in the third quarter coming up, Jill Anderson with the steal and the basket. She had 14 points tonight, and the basket gave Park a 14-point lead. They win 53-26 and are heading back to state.
All right, Randy, we have some other girls basketball regional final scores out of 7AA. International Falls will join their hockey team in state. They defeated Duluth-Denfeld. And in Region 7A, Esco over Pine City, so Esco will go to state.
In boys basketball, St. Agnes played Christ Household of Faith for the District 15A championship tonight.
We have highlights out of Inver Hills. We'll take a look at them now. An exciting finish. St. Agnes in white takes a 50-48 lead when Marcus Renner puts in the rebound shot. Watch now as Christ Household of Faith breaks the press, and Chris Connor will get the ball in the corner, and he is maneuvering there. There's the pass to the corner, the shot out of the corner, bounces around, goes in. The game tied. 26 seconds left after a St. Agnes turnover. Choff came down on a break. A scramble under the bucket. Mark Harms puts in the easy layup, and Choff wins to win the District 15A title in a wild game. We check the score 54-52.
In Region 3AA tonight, Central in red beat a tough Highland Park team. Gerard Hughes led the Minutemen, gets the rebound shot here. Hughes had 31 points tonight, and Central advances with a 2-point win. Final 76-74. Hastings over Simley tonight, or loses to Simley rather. Harding by 10, and the region champion St. Thomas Academy is defeated. In 5AA, Washburn and White at Henry. Brian Carpenter, number 21. He had 16 points tonight for Washburn. Henry got 27 from Prentice Perkins. He gets the assist here to Glenn Scott. And Henry wins in 5AA tonight. We check the final, 78-76. South by 30. Osseo over Holy Angels, and Roosevelt with an upset. Tom?
That's right. Roosevelt led 50-48.